the Overwatch coach. Basically, what this channel is going to be is your guys' submissions to me of videos, competitive game mode. You email me at the overwatchcoach@gmail.com. Tell me what hero you're playing, tell me what SR you're at the time that you're playing, and tell me the map. And we will do basically me coaching, watching as you play, telling what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, what your team's doing wrong and right, talking about team compositions, tricks on the maps that you're playing, and just anything general with the Overwatch video that we're watching. So I've got up on the screen right now, we've got an Ana player who's at 1600 SR playing on Hanamura. And I've got a little verbiage up about what I'm looking for if you want to make a submission to me. A little bit about who I am, since this is the very first video I'm doing. I have two accounts. Between the two accounts, I would be a silver border 3-star, so I've got a lot of time on the game. My main account, I'm mid to high diamond. I'm not sure exactly where I'm at right this second, but somewhere around mid to high diamond. My second account, I'm gold. I'm gold on purpose, just to play with friends that are lower tier. So yeah, let's get started. We've got, like I said, we've got the Ana 1600 on Hanamura. Let's get started and let's see what we got. Okay, so we've got starting on defense, team saying hi, that's always a good start.
Hello guys.
Hey.
Never.
Okay, let's stop there. Alright, so starting with Symmetra, you guys are already pretty support heavy with the Ana and the Lucio. I'd actually encourage the Lucio to switch here. The Reinhardt's good. The McCree's good if they end up running a Pharah, or he might be able to deal with a flanker. Still not sure who he's going to be.
Fighting for what you believe in.
Let's see if you end up showing me or not.
There's nothing I haven't seen before. Stick together. We will complete our mission.
Team's asking for a second tank. We still don't have that the duo Q guy. He hasn't picked yet.
Same.
I noticed you haven't said anything on the microphone yet. I definitely encourage like just saying hi, hello to the team. If it were me, I'd be encouraging that Lucio to switch. So the Symmetra, those are interesting turret placements. Okay, so we got a Zarya. Let's go back just a bit here. Okay, let's stop right here for a second. Alright, so the Zarya and the Reinhardt, they can combo well together, and the fact that they're in a duo queue, I'm sure whenever he's going to charge, she'll be bubbling. That's perfect. The McCree, like I said, he can deal with the flankers, he can deal with an attacking Pharah. That's good. Considering the area of SR that we're playing in, I'd probably have encouraged him to go soldier, but the fact that we have two healers, maybe you don't need the self-healing. And if he's more comfortable on McCree, hey, so be it. We can live with that. The Symmetra, I'm finding interesting. So what I want to do is, okay, let's stop right here. This is a good vantage point for what I want to illustrate. So for any Symmetra players watching, this is what I would encourage. So he's got, let's see here. He's got turrets right there, right there, right there. He's got one lined up. You can't see it, but it's right on the edge there. He's got one there, which is a questionable one. I'm not sure why he would put that there. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can see 5 of them. Not sure where the 6th one is. It might. I'm guessing it would probably be up on that ridge up there. So let's talk turret placement just for a moment. Let's get this off the screen. Turret placement. So when I'm playing Symmetra, what I like to do is have a turret here. This one's good. I would raise this one up to here. This one I would put up there. I would have another one about right there and another one right there. I've also put turrets here on this ridge right underneath if they're attacking and being extremely aggressive. And if they're really pushing this window up here, I'll get another turret up here and maybe even one here depending on how high that or how hot that they're actually pushing that window. But what he's got shouldn't hinder too much, but there's a couple questionable ones that I'm not sure what he's thinking putting those there. Let's see how this all plays out. Enough talk. Let's see how this goes. Keep in mind, I haven't watched this video. I'm watching this live with you guys as I'm making the commentary. So you've got the high ground. You've got a good vantage point. The only problem I have with where you're standing right now is if a Pharah, Genji, or anybody else comes through that window, you're exposed. And since you haven't used your microphone yet, if you get into trouble, nobody's going to know. Now, okay, so you jump down to get a better vantage point on your tanks.
Get back in the fight.
Everybody's falling back because the Reinhardt died. Roadhog's pushing up by himself, it looks like. That Symmetra's being really aggressive. Okay, I'm not totally sure what you were trying to accomplish with that grenade. Now, if I were you, I would have grenaded your own Reinhardt to get him to faster, higher health faster. Okay, so your sleep dart, you're missing sleep dart, so we got to work on when you're using those. Got to work on the aim a little too. The team's staying together, which is good. Now the Zarya, boy, I don't know what she's trying to do right now. You're keeping her alive, which is a good thing. So you've got a good sleep dart on the Mercy. Okay, so you purpled one of them. One of your guys is low health. There you go. You got the McCree going. Now I don't know why the McCree is so low ground. I'd be telling the McCree to go up on the high ground. You've got a Genji on you. And you've got a jump. Oh, there's a few people flanking. Now the McCree spotted it, but yeah, he just died. Now you could have prevented that if your aim was a little bit better. Okay, now the Zarya, she didn't communicate she was doing that, so nobody really reacted. There was no real follow through there. So, you know, when you're in these silver games, communication, the lower SRs, they got to communicate more. You definitely need a lot more communication. I haven't heard you on the microphone yet, and you just died. Yeah, your team got overran. Not much you could really do there. Did the Symmetra get her teleporter up? Doesn't look like it. I didn't notice it dying either, so I don't think she got one up. So at this point, everybody's just got to fall back. I don't even know why the three even tried to get back there in time. It was pretty much a GG at that point. Now the Symmetra switched to Torbjorn. Honestly, I think staying Symmetra could maybe work if they're comfortable on Symmetra. If they're not, well then go with the Torb. Okay, we've got a Winston now too. So now we're running triple tank. Triple tank, Torb, McCree. And then you're solo healing. That's not good. Alright, the Reinhardt trying to just get out of the harm's way there. Your position's good, although I'm concerned that you don't have any tanks with you up here. And now that Junkrat's trying to shell you, but oh boy, you walked right into it. Now he was just shooting his grenades in the same spot, so why you walked into that, I'm not really sure. Now we're getting you adjusting your sound. But yeah, if you've got a Junkrat that's just spamming one exact location and he's not even trying to move it around or anything, just stay there, wait for him to reload, and then move. But your position was fine. Now, if I were you, I would have called for some tank support up there. The Zarya would have been perfect. You know, Junkrat and Zarya, they counter each other, kind of. You know, Zarya, she can get her charge off of that Junkrat real easy. And with you healing her, she'll bully him. Alright, they're calling for the McCree to switch. I'm not sure that's a smart call. Although they don't have a Pharah, so maybe it could work. Okay, you just spotted somebody hiding up top on your point.
Genji behind.
Now, oh, somebody called it. A lot of armor on the point. Oh boy, you just walked right into that. Now, when you hear a Riptire on the map, you got to spread out from people, especially a Reinhardt. A Reinhardt's going to be gluing Riptires in his general direction. And I'd like to also point out that the Torbjorn just spamming a bunch of armor packs right on the point, not really what you want to do as a Torbjorn. What you'd want to do as a Torbjorn, find your healers, find your squishies, and just throw it right at them. Or if you can't get it right at them, in their general direction, so then that way an Ana doesn't have to run on the point, expose herself trying to get armor. Because you don't want your tanks really getting the armor packs unless it's like a really desperate fight or something. But generally speaking, you want your healers to have it. You would want that McCree to have it, and then the game's over. You guys got overran. So I didn't notice a lot of picks from the McCree, so the McCree switching might have been a good call, especially since they weren't running a Pharah. It was hard for you to solo heal. You were, especially with triple tank, it's really not an ideal situation there. Let's see what you get for attack. So on attack, we could either approach this one of two ways. You could either try to bully him through the choke, or you could try a dive comp with some flanking. And it looks like this team's going to be doing a dive comp. See what this last guy's always taking so long to pick. There we go. All right, Zenyatta.
Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Okay, so we got. Here we go. All right, let's look at what we got here. So we've got Pharah who can flank. You've got D.Va who can flank. You got Winston that can flank, and Genji that can flank. So this is definitely a dive comp. I'd be looking for the Pharah to attack high. The D.Va could either fly through the window or just go flying through the main way. Winston probably could dive through the window. I think all these guys really could dive through the window, which puts you at a disadvantage because the Mercy can fly with them. Genji, he could also climb up the window, and you're going to be kind of stuck if that's what they do. Now, I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing, but you could get stuck. I would encourage, in this kind of a comp, a Lucio would be great. Not that Ana's the worst pick, but you're putting yourself in a tricky situation with this comp.
There's nothing I haven't seen.
You guys definitely will have the healing lockdown, assuming they don't just leave you behind, and I'm half expecting them to leave you behind. But let's see what happens here. I like the comp otherwise. I've always been a fan of the dive comp on Hanamura. I hate when people get stuck at the choke, just spamming through the choke for 2-3 minutes until it's a minute left, and then everybody's like, "Oh crap, we gotta start moving." So I like the comp otherwise. I think you being a Lucio might be better, and if you're not comfortable being a Lucio, maybe the Mercy, and you could switch roles or something. But a lot of that comes with communication. You got to be able to communicate with your team, and you haven't been doing that. Now, I don't know what you were trying to do with that grenade, but that was a waste. But odds are by the time you need it again, you're going to have it, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, so the D.Va is just eating damage, and now you got hooked, but luckily Luckily, the Roadhog wasn't able to finish you off. Now, the Mercy stayed behind to keep you alive. Now, she's not with the team, so now this team's got no healing. The Genji's still behind. Look out for the trap. Now, you just threw your sleep dart into a shield. Mercy didn't see the trap. See, now you shouting out the trap could have saved the Mercy from hitting that. We've got Winston trying to get away from a Reinhardt. Okay, you slept the Rein, I think. Yeah, you did. That's good. Somebody woke him up, though. See, now you on the mic could have told somebody, Rein's sleeping, don't wake him up. Because Reinhardt's going to be a problem for this team. You guys don't have the damage to really deal with the Reinhardt. The D.Va's in trouble, so she's got to fly. Yeah, this is a lost fight. I think you guys got to start regrouping here. Now, if this were me, and as a support, you should be telling the team to regroup. Let's back out. Let's not feed anybody's ults and regroup here. And, yep. So here's the problem with this comp. You guys aren't diving together. And like I said at the beginning, you're going to get left behind playing Ana on a dive comp and Hanamura on the first point. And that's exactly what's happening. And when the other team has a Roadhog, you kind of need the Reinhardt, because otherwise every time he throws a hook, he should be landing. He should be hooking somebody. Now maybe he misses once or twice, but he's hooking. He's got a straight shot at you. Unless that Winston gets his bubble dome up, you're in trouble. So right now you're hanging back. That's good. Winston put the dome up, but he doesn't really have anybody to shock right now. Zenyatta popped his ult. Okay, the D.Va explosion didn't get anybody. I don't know that she called that out either. You slept somebody. I'm guessing it was the Reinhardt, and they just woke him up instantly, so that sleep didn't really do anything. Okay, that time was good. You stayed away from the team, let the Riptire blow up. That was better. Oh boy. Junkrat was right behind you. Nobody called it out. Nobody saw it. Alright, so the team got the point without you, so you'll be spawning pretty close. Luckily, it won't be a staggered spawn. Alright, now it's going to be easier for you as an Ana to hang with the dive comp. So you're going to be in a better position now because you can snipe from a distance. Alright, so the team's already on point. Waste of a sleep dart. I don't know what you were going for there. You didn't even have a target in sight from what I could tell. Don't be afraid to scope and shoot too, by the way. You haven't been doing that too much. You're on the point now. I don't know that you necessarily need to be. You might want to kind of keep your distance. Another missed sleep dart. And then you jump down. Not sure why you did that. I think you could have hung out there for a little while longer. You don't have a good view of that Pharah. See, this team needs your healing right now, and you trapped yourself down there. This is all a positioning thing. Now, what I would have advocated for you to do was take the high ground, the top right. If you were up on the top right, shooting down, healing the team, you'd have been in a nice, safe place. Nobody really would have been able to get to you. Or you could have hung out on the main gate. You keep sleeping the Roadhog. That's good. Roadhog's probably going to be tilted off of you. Oh boy. Mercy. Attack Mercy. Attack Mercy feeds you over to the Junkrat. Right. So the team looks like they're... Are they going to wait for you, or are they going to go in without you? See, now, this is another thing. If you had a microphone, you could have told the team to wait because you're down a healer. Now they're attacking 5 or 6, and the Mercy's down, so now they're fighting with no healing whatsoever. That's a recipe for disaster. So unless they get really, really lucky... now, like Winston, now he just wasted his ult. D.Va's wasting her ult because they've got no healing, so there's nothing to keep them going. There's no sustain here. Oh boy. Pharah just used her ult. So now everybody has burned their ults and they didn't have any healing support. That's a bad, bad thing. And that could have easily been remedied if any of the healers was communicating with the team. Now you got left alone, so now you're dead. You should have fell back. As soon as the Pharah, once you were done healing the Pharah when she was ulting, you should have known that fight was over. It's a lost cause. Fall back. Don't feed ult. Wait for your team to regroup and push in at 6. Hopefully that's what you guys are going to do this time around.
I am never ill. Why?
Alright, so you guys are going in, but the Winston's down already. He looks like he got a little too aggressive with the dive. Oh boy, Mercy's down. Diva never turned around to try to shoot the Riptire. Probably wouldn't have gotten it anyway. The McCree's just standing, Genji's just standing still, so yeah, rip. I haven't seen you guys try to attack from the top yet, although I don't know if you guys really have what it would take to do that, which might mean try switching it up. I think at this point I would be calling for some switches. I'd be okay with the Pharah. I'd probably want the Diva to switch, and I'd probably want the Winston. I'd probably want different tanks. Reinhardt, Zarya could work again. A Roadhog for the added DPS could be good. Baby Diva's trying to poke. Genji's almost dead. That Mercy is suicidal. She is dying way too much. See, now you should be throwing your grenade to get that Diva back up and running again. And you tried to sleep dart the Riptire. I don't think it works that way. Yeah, a lot of this is playing off of the poor choice of tanks. I think they were fine for the first point, and one or the other I think could be fine, but the two together they're not working. I think a Reinhardt to help get the team on the point would be good, and then keeping either the Diva or the Winston. I don't see a big reason to have the Winston though. Oh, Mercy got a kill. Good for her. Okay, Winston's on point and he's ulting. So this whole team just attacked without their healers again. The healers were off dealing with the Junkrat. Okay, you were fine where you were. I don't know why you jumped down. Okay, you got the Mercy alive. Throwing your grenade would be awesome for the Winston, who's now dead. Mercy got a nice res, so everybody's back up again. You gotta use your grenade more. We need that biotic grenade. Winston died. There you go, now you used it. Keep that Winston alive. That Winston should be throwing his bubble dome up. Oh, everybody got off the point. Wow, everybody got off the point. You guys had it and you got off the point. That is really, really unfortunate. And that's part of the problem of a dive comp. You know, when people start diving, it gets lost that everybody's not on the point. That's really, really unfortunate, and that's really bad luck. I feel bad that you lost that game, because that should have at least went into overtime. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. But, alright, to go off of your play, the two major things that I saw off of what you were doing... Well, actually, there's 3 things. 3 points that I want to make. Let me get my pen up here. So, number 1... Boy, this is hard to write with. Communication. And my penmanship with this is really, really bad, so I apologize. But number 1 is communication. You never talked. Your team wasn't communicating a lot. You guys pushed in without your healers, so you weren't around to keep all of them alive. Got to work on that. Number 2, use your grenade. Use that grenade as much as you can. When using Ana's grenade, don't worry so much if you're... You know, there's 2 major ways to use her grenade. Either you're eliminating your enemies from being able to heal, or you're boosting the healing for your team. When you were running triple tank, that grenade should have been on constant cooldown because you were struggling to keep everybody up at full capacity. That grenade would have helped you do that a lot. The other thing to keep in mind when running triple tank, if you're running triple tank and you find yourself being the only healer, encourage Roadhogs and Soldiers and Zaryas because they can self-heal a little bit. You know, Zarya's got the shield that'll regenerate. Roadhog's got his self-healing gas drug thing that he has, and then Soldier can self-heal a little bit. If you can have a bunch of other heroes that can kind of help you in the healing, but they're not actual healers, that'll make your job so much easier. But you have to communicate that to them. So if you don't have a microphone, get one. It doesn't have to be anything special. You're just talking in game. Don't worry about it being some super fancy, expensive microphone. Just make sure you have one, and don't be afraid to talk to your team. Doesn't matter what your voice sounds like. You got to do it. It's a team game. Communication's so key. If you want to climb, if you want to get better, you have to be able to communicate. And then number 3, Sleep Dart. The Sleep Dart. You were doing good with the Roadhog. However, the Roadhog's probably the easiest target with the Sleep Dart. What I would recommend for your Sleep Dart usage is wait for when people start targeting you. Don't just throw Sleep Darts out there unless you think you've got an easy shot at somebody who's kind of stationary, you know, maybe like an exposed Bastion or a Torbjorn who's hammering her way at a turret and he's not really moving. You know, something like that would be fine. Otherwise, I always keep my Sleep Dart when I play Ana as a defensive tool. You know, say the team starts pushing in, I kind of get left out in the open a little bit, and next thing I know, I've got somebody who sees me and thinks, oh, I can pick off Ana. Next thing I know, I pull off the Sleep Dart and take them out. Another good use for the Sleep Dart is canceling out somebody's ultimate ability. You know, say like a Winston who's ulting, or McCree high nooning, Roadhog doing his whole hog. You know, the list is endless when it comes to that. But think about the way you're using your Sleep Dart. Don't waste it. The cooldown for that's pretty long. Use it defensively. Use it to cancel ultimates. You know, when you're battling for that second point where I've got it paused here, you know, if you can Sleep Dart somebody when you're battling desperately to take that point, you put the whole advantage back on your team, or you can take a disadvantaged fight that you can't break away from and maybe even the odds a little bit, which, I mean, that's something really valuable right there. What was I going to say? I was going to say one more thing. But it all comes down to communication in the end. Also having people to combo your ultimates with. You know, ulting the same time Genji does his ultimate would have been a nice one to do. But a lot of that comes with communicating, because they're never going to know if you're going to ult them unless you shout out to them, Genji, I've got my ultimate. I'm ready when you are. You know, saying something like that is invaluable to what you can provide to the team. Work on your aim a little bit too. Your aim was at times a little bit spotty. I'll give you a little tip for perfecting your aim. What you should do is you should go into the training arena, stand about 10 yards away from a training bot, and start strafing in like a semicircle, like a, you know, think of a like a half circle, like this. So if this is the bot here, kind of strafe around him and keep your reticle right dead center on the top of his head. And if you're able to go back and forth like this and keep your mouse cursor right on the middle of his head, your mouse sensitivity is perfect. If your mouse, like if this is, let me clear this off here. Oop. If your mouse, all right, so if this is the robot's head and your mouse is just kind of, it's just going all over the place, you know, and it's just kind of, you're trying to keep it, but it's just going all over the place. Your mouse sensitivity is too high and you got to lower it. And you can do custom mouse sensitivities for each hero you play. So what I like to do for any of my hit scan classes is I go in there, I try to find a mouse sensitivity that works for me, and then I set it for all the hit scans. So Soldier, McCree, Anna, anybody like that. You're going to find that your aim is going to be a heck of a lot better. I notice your frames per second are at 150, so I'm guessing you have a 144 hertz monitor. If you don't, and you have the money to invest in that kind of an upgrade, it's going to make this game a heck of a lot smoother. If you've already got it, then you already know what I'm talking about. But to anybody else out there that can afford to upgrade to a 144 hertz monitor and has the computer power to do it, I highly recommend it, especially if you're playing hit scan classes. Oh, I remember now. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, I'm going to let this video play while I talk. You can watch the play of the game while I talk. Don't be afraid to do some scoped in shots. Don't always have to be a hip firing Anna. You know, when attacking that second point, you could have been healing from the distance. You just zoom in. Makes shooting a heck of a lot easier in certain situations. And aside from that, that's about all I can really think of. Your positioning at times not so good. Like that one time you guys were attacking the second point, you kind of dived down from the bridge when you were fine where you were at. You could have also tried to take the high ground. That would have definitely been a good area too. Other than that, I think I gave you some good tips to work off of. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. And I hope that this was a productive first episode. And thank you for watching. Thank you for submitting. I've got a few other videos for anybody else that's watching that has submitted. I've got a few other videos to do. So I will definitely be getting to those probably this weekend. Thank you guys.